for homeowners, you may want to do a double take if you get a letter in the mail urging you to buy a home warranty. The Better Business Bureau says it could be a scam.
And look, if you got this letter, do not call this number because it's going to cost you $51,370. That's the average amount an American homeowner loses to this con. Not the worst case, the average. And it all starts with one letter in your mailbox and one phone call you were never supposed to make. 3 separate banks have now gone on record in writing telling their own customers the exact same 4 words about this letter showing up in mailboxes across the country right now. Do not call the number. Well, that's 5 words, but you get it. Fraud losses just jumped 43% in a year. The FBI is documenting it, the banks are warning about it, and nobody you know is talking about it until today. Chances are you already got one of these, or your neighbor did, or your mom called you about one last week. I mean, look at it. It looks official. It references your actual mortgage company. It says final notice across the top. It says home warranty division. It has an account number on it. Not your account number, but some reference number that looks close enough. And somewhere on that letter is a phone number. And if your gut said something about this is off, you were right. So why do people fall for it? Well, I mean, our whole lives we were taught that when something feels off, you pick up the phone and you call the number to check. Our parents did it. Our financial advisor probably told us to do it at some point. Every customer service line in America trained us to do it. Not to mention our guard is down. We've got life on our mind. And look, picking up the phone to confirm it worked in 1995. In 2026, it's turning out to be the single most expensive as well as the easiest mistake a homeowner can make. It's like pulling over for a fake cop. Every instinct in your body says stop the car. But the smart move, the move that keeps you safe, is to keep driving to the nearest well-lit police station and verify before you roll down the window. And then, what if you're wrong? I mean, now you got a cop pissed off that you made him drive 3 more miles to tell you that your taillight is burned out. So I'm going to show you the 5 red flags that identify this letter in under 30 seconds. How the most dangerous part of this letter is the phone number itself. And then the 20-minute move you can make this weekend that shuts this entire class of con down for the rest of your life. Red flag number 1. The letter says final notice in giant red letters across the top, or maybe it's stamped diagonally across the page. And here's the problem with that. A real final notice means there were notices before it. This is the final one. If you can't remember getting a first notice, a second notice, or any notice at all, it's because there weren't any. The scammer is betting you'll panic before you do the math. Red flag number 2. It mentions your actual mortgage company by name. Wells Fargo, Chase, Rocket, your real lender. And that's what makes you think it's legit. Here's what most don't know. Your mortgage is a public record. The name of your lender, your loan amount, the date you closed, all of it is sitting on your county's website right now. For free, for anyone to see. Any stranger with an internet connection can pull it up. That's how they knew your lender's name. They didn't hack anything. No, they used Google. Red flag number 3. The letter references a home warranty division, something that sounds like a real banking department. Well, this department doesn't exist. Not at your bank, not at any bank. A real home warranty company, if you actually have one, is a separate contract from your mortgage. They don't share a division. That's a made-up name designed to live in the uncanny valley between real and fake. It's how they get your trust. The FBI released a public service announcement in December of 24, PSA number I120325, warning about impersonation and account takeover scams run by trusted representatives. Since January of 2025, a little over a year of the time that I'm recording this, they've logged over 5,100 complaints, and get this, $262 million in losses. The average individual loss, $51,370. That's not the cost of giving them your info, though. That's the cost of simply calling to check. And I'll explain why that phone number is so dangerous in just a second. But red flag number 4, there's an account number on the letter that doesn't match your real mortgage account number. If you get the letter, pull your last mortgage statement. Look at the account number at the top. Compare it to the one on the letter. If they're different by even 1 digit, it's fake. Full stop. Shred it. Red flag number 5. And this is the one everybody misses. At the very bottom of the letter, in very tiny small print that you need your reading glasses for, there's usually a line that says, "We are not affiliated with your current mortgage holder." Well, that fine print is a confession, but it doesn't matter. The letter isn't the dangerous part anyway. It's just the bait. The actual trap is something else entirely. You see, the letter isn't trying to get your money. The letter is trying to get one thing and one thing only, for you to dial the phone number. Most think, even the smart people, that the con happens when you give them a credit card. You think the con happens when you hand over your social security number. You think those 5 red flags are your 5 chances to catch this before it costs you anything. Wrong. The con happens the second you pick up the phone. Because here's what happens when you call. The person on the other end already knows your name. They know your address. They know your lender. They know your approximate home value. It all pops up on their terminal when you call because they pulled all of it from public records before the phone rang. So when they say, "Mr. Johnson, I'm seeing here on my screen that your home at 1247 Maple Street has a mortgage with Wells Fargo for $287,000. Can you verify the last 4 of your social so I can pull up your warranty file?" Well, your brain processes that as legitimate because how else would they know all of that? And even if you catch yourself halfway through the call and hang up, even if you give them nothing, you just told them 3 things. 1, your phone number is active. 2, you're the actual homeowner at the address. And 3, and this is the one nobody considers, you told them you respond to scams. So your number just got sold to the next scam ring for about 50 cents. That call by itself had dollar value to them. That's why the whole letter is designed to make you call, not to get your info. The call is the product. Your credit card, that's the icing. That's the tripwire. The letter is the bait. The phone number is the weapon. And the prize? Non-stop scams on their way to your mailbox, telephone, and inbox from this day forward. And I'll tell you how to kill this imminent avalanche of spam coming your way in just a second. But here's where most people's head spins. Matt, how the hell did they know my name and my address and my lender? Strap in. Between county digitization and data brokers like CoreLogic, who brag in their own investor decks that they track 99.9% of residential real estate, your home is being surveilled more closely than a Real Housewives prenup. And CoreLogic is not alone. You've got Axiom, Epsilon, Black Knight, RealtyTrack. These are data brokers. Their entire business model is aggregating every public property record, every mortgage filing, every tax assessment, every foreclosure, and selling that data to marketing firms. And who are those marketing firms? Well, sometimes legitimate advertisers. Sometimes the call centers in Mumbai running these letters. Sometimes, and this is the part that keeps me up, the exact same firm is selling your data to the legitimate advertiser in the morning and the Mumbai call center in the afternoon. Same desk, same invoice template, different customer. I used to be a customer of these services when I was buying houses before switching to a referral model because they work. And here's the thing. Most of this data came from your county's public records. You see, between 2005 and 2015, every county in America digitized their property records in the name of transparency. Before that, if you wanted to know what mortgage I had, you had to drive down to the courthouse, fill out a request, and pay a fee. Now, it's a drop-down menu on a website. And the Zillow effect finished the job 20 years ago. If a letter said, "Regarding your property at 1247 Maple Street, valued at $425,000, every alarm bell in your head would go off. How does this stranger know what my house is worth? Well, today, you shrug, because Zillow and Redfin and Realtor.com trained you to accept that strangers know your home's value. You got desensitized to your own surveillance. All right, so here's the part nobody's connecting, and this is the biggie. The banks, they already know about this. And 3 of them that I've found on public record have issued formal written warnings telling their customers what to do about it. So let me run through these 3 banks, and then I'll show you what I've put in place above and beyond so that these people never find me again. Bank number 1, First Western Trust Bank. March of 2025, the official fraud advisory titled, "Beware of Home Warranty Scam Letters." Their exact words on their customer-facing website right now. Do not call the number or contact any email address that is included in this letter. Bank number 2, Alden State Bank. Consumer education page, their exact words. Have you received a postcard or letter with an important matter regarding your mortgage? It is a scam, and do not call the number. Bank number 3, FAS New York Federal Credit Union, member advisory, their exact words. The goal of these letters is to pressure you into calling a phone number and providing personal or payment information. Do not respond to the letter or call the number listed. 3 banks, 3 different states, 3 independent warnings, same 4 words. Do not call the number. 5 words. Now, when banks, institutions whose primary emotional state is polite indifference, are actively screaming at their own customers not to call a number, you are looking at a 5-alarm fire. But if 3 banks know, how many of the other 4,000 banks in America know? Why hasn't Wells Fargo sent you an email? Why hasn't Chase put this on your online banking dashboard? Well, I can't prove this part, but here's what I think is actually happening. I think the banks did the math. I think they sat down with their lawyers and asked, what's the liability if we send a warning? And the lawyers said, if you warn customers about fake letters, you just created a legal duty to protect them from all fake letters. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. So most banks stay quiet. Not because they don't know, because silence is cheaper than a warning on the spreadsheet. 3 banks, though, broke ranks and warned their customers anyway. The other thousands, they did the math and decided you were on your own. That's my read, and you can decide for yourself. Whatever the reason, you now know more about this than 95% of American homeowners. Now it's time to turn you from a target into someone the scammer skips right over. Let's go full Jason Bourne on this. 20 minutes on Saturday morning. That's all this takes. And there are 2 ways that you can approach this. The first way is you walk to your filing cabinet, you pull every real financial statement you've got, your mortgage statement, your bank statements, your credit card statements, your insurance declarations page, your brokerage statements. Pull everything. On a blank index card or in a notes app on your phone, write verified contact numbers across the top. Now write down the customer service phone numbers from each real statement, the one printed at the top or the bottom of the actual document your real institution sent you. Label each one. The real Wells Fargo, the real Chase, the real State Farm. That's your fortress against phone fraud, that index card or that notes entry. It's the single most valuable piece of active defense you can build in 20 minutes. And when any letter or phone call or email claims to be from one of those institutions, don't call the number they tell you to, call the number on your card. Now, the second way, and this is the other half of the move, the index card handles what comes into your mailbox, but it does nothing to stop them from putting you on the list in the first place. Those guys that are sitting on your file, they're selling it to the next scam operation on a weekly basis. So while you're building your fortress on Saturday, the other half of the move is scrubbing your data off those broker sites, which is why I'll put a link in the description to the resource that I use that pulls your info off of 130 plus of them and keeps them off. Because sometimes the best defense is a strong offense and taking the fight to them. Getting your address, your phone number, and your email out of their database in the first place is just what Jason Bourne would do. So you've got 2 options. Option A, you finish this video, you think, that was interesting, you close the laptop and you go back to what you're doing. And then next week, a letter shows up. You figure it's probably real, so you call to check. 2 weeks later, you notice a charge you don't recognize. A month later, you realize your savings account is $51,370 lighter. 6 months later, you're still doing identity theft paperwork. That's option A. Option B, you pause this video when it ends. You walk to your filing cabinet, you spend 20 minutes building your index card fortress, and check out the link in the description to scrape your personal information off of data brokers' websites. That's a huge chunk of the exposure gone. That's your name coming off of 130 plus broker sites that sold you to the scammer in the first place. But here's the thing nobody tells you about taking your name off the map. Data brokers are just one layer. There's a whole other set of places your name is sitting right now. Wide open, indexed by Google, searchable by any stranger with Wi-Fi, your county assessor's website, your voter registration file, your LLC filings if you own a business, your professional license if you're a nurse or a contractor or a realtor, your utility hookups, your DMV records in some states, your old nonprofit board listings, your kid's high school booster club donor page from 2019. Those aren't data brokers. That's you, public, findable by anyone, for free, right now. And the smart homeowners figured out that pulling your name off the brokers and leaving it on everything else is like locking your front door and leaving your back door wide open. So I pulled up this next video right here for you to watch next. 3 specific ways homeowners are quietly removing their name from everything else. Because you can shred every letter they send and scrub every broker file, but if your name is still on the public map in 40 other places, they keep finding you. So take the name off the map. All of it. Watch this next. God loves you, and so do I. Take care.